In this video, I'm going to share what I wish I'd known when I was in my 40s and break down the most important lessons that, looking back, I wish I'd learned sooner. As I moved through my 40s and into my 50s, I was nearing a point where my career might well be at its peak, and in hindsight, the choices I made would have a profound impact on the next few decades of my life. By the end of this video, I hope to pass on what I've learned to help you thrive during this stage, not just financially, but in every aspect of life. Now, the first thing I want to share is that clarity must come first. To begin with, I'd recommend defining your personal vision. This is something that so many people overlook, and if you do, you could end up approaching your 60s in a rather unfavourable situation. However, as I discovered through my own experiences, at this stage of life, getting this right is more important than ever. Even if you're not necessarily on the cusp of retirement, it's crucial to be clear about the lifestyle you want now and post-retirement, as well as the costs associated with it. Now, many people, perhaps even most, don't take the time to sit down and understand exactly how much money they'll need to make their dream retirement a reality. For instance, retirement is about much more than not working. It's about creating a new life with passions, hobbies, and adventure. Think about what you'll do for travel, for hobbies, for housing, what your utilities going to cost and more, and all of the costs associated with those. Because knowing what you actually want to do is extremely important. And of course, the financial planning aspect of that is vital too. You really do need to put some serious thought into what you need, and you need to do it early to avoid just drifting into retirement and hoping for the best. Now, a good way to approach this is to start with your dreams, your bucket list, if you will. Do you want to travel the world? Well, estimate your travel expenses. You might want to stay at home, enjoying your family and the garden, maybe build that extension or gorgeous outside space for the grandkids. Perhaps, like me, you want to see the UK from the comfort of a VW campervan or a motorhome. Well, break those down properly, get your spreadsheet updated. Jot down everything you want to do in a little journal, a notepad on your phone, and be extremely clear of what you want your day-to-day to look like. Where are you going to wake up? What are you doing first thing in the morning? Who do you want to have around you? What activities will you get up to? So the second thing I wish I'd known in my 40s and 50s is that how you treat your body during those years will shape the quality of your life in your 60s, 70s and beyond. Now, many people focus on career and finances but neglect their physical and mental health, which does lead to burnout, chronic health issues and regret later on. I wish I'd looked after my knees better, for example. That skiing trip was not a good idea. It's common to think I'll take care of myself when things settle down, but by then the damage is usually done. So the big mindset shift you need to make is that your health is an investment, it's not an expense. Small changes to your lifestyle and habits make a massive difference. Strength training, for example, to maintain muscle mass, prioritizing sleep and daily movement all play a role. Nutrition matters massively. Focus on whole foods, protein intake and hydration. Stay away from those junk foods you used to be able to stuff your face with in your 20s with no repercussions, because investing in your health now means you'll have the energy and mobility to enjoy the life you're building. So the third lesson that I wish I knew earlier is that using time to your advantage is an incredibly powerful way to make money. The most valuable asset for those between the age of 40 and 60 really is time. The longer you wait to take action, the less your money will grow. By not saving and investing, in pensions in particular, early and regularly, you'll miss out on the power of compound growth. For example, for those of us in the UK, if you increase your pension contributions now, you give it 10 plus years to compound. Even a small monthly increase can have a significant effect by the time you retire. Plus, make sure you take advantage of any matched contributions your employer offers. I'll give you an example. As opposed to the basic 3% employee and 5% employer contributions through auto-enrollment rules, your employer might match up to 10%. Now, that's a 5% pay rise for you. If you max out your contributions today, you're allowing greater compound growth to deliver you a far better future. And sometimes it is actually that simple. Now, one super important thing that I want to mention that you may have already realized is that as people get older, friendships and relationships often take a back seat. usually to work and responsibilities. Now, if you don't make a conscious effort to actively nurture your relationships, it's really easy for them to fade. Many people wake up in their 50s and 60s and realise that they've just lost touch with old friends, or they haven't prioritised their family in years. Social isolation is one of the biggest contributors to unhappiness later in life. So be intentional and be proactive. Choose your friends wisely and schedule time for them, as well as on date nights with your partner, for example, and lovely family experiences. I'd say this is particularly relevant to parents. We get very busy. We do. We all do. With work and hobbies and kids and grandkids. And having lost my dad last year, I absolutely wish I'd made more time for him. I certainly won't make that mistake with my mum. Now, quality relationships add years to your life and more life to your years. If you've lost touch with people who matter to you, reach out because it's never too late. Now I want to shift gears just for a moment and talk about something that's harder to notice as you get older, but something you might look back on and totally regret, and that's the little things that add up. It's not the big things that necessarily make a huge difference, because those are often pretty obvious. They get a lot more attention and planning. It's the regular, small, often overlooked costs, your subscriptions, your daily takeout coffee, your morning McDonald's or Greggs, unused memberships, daft eBay or Amazon purchases, etc., etc. They'll really add up over time and potentially put you in a worse position financially. I say potentially, almost certainly, I would say. Now, I've personally had clients tell me they didn't think their spending habits had a big impact, but when we tracked their expenses, it was easy to cut unnecessary outgoings and redirect hundreds each month towards saving for a better future, and it wasn't particularly difficult for them to do. So what can you do to adjust your spending habits? Well, first, you can start by cutting unnecessary spending. Review your bills, your dining, your entertainment expenses, your Sky TV bill, and avoid buying things on impulse. Now, I know it's hard, but here's what you can do with that money, because it helps to actually have a goal and understand the upside of why you should want to save. Redirect those savings into ISAs, pension schemes, or other long-term growth assets like property. By doing that, you can turn a negative into a positive, because those small adjustments add up in both directions. Right, let's talk skills and knowledge. Now, many people assume that it's natural for their career growth and learning to slow down or completely stop in their later life, but that's actually far from true. Because relying on outdated skills or staying stagnant in your career can put you at risk, especially in such a fast-changing world. Industries evolve, new opportunities emerge, and those who stop learning often get left behind. So the major mindset change you need to make is to embrace lifelong learning. Where so many people go wrong is just thinking that their learning ends when they graduate university, or perhaps when they become excellent at their jobs. To be successful in this world, you mustn't stop learning. Whether it's learning new technology, is it gaining leadership skills, or is it even switching industries, reinvention is possible. Online courses, mentorship, and reading can keep you sharp and open up brand new career paths. There's never been an easier time to access information that you need to succeed, and most of all, your experience is an asset. Don't let it go to waste. There's a good chance you could take up a consultant role, or even create and sell one of those online courses and become a mentor yourself. Now, I know several clients who have semi-retired and love consulting and mentoring and life coaching, and a few have even written books. Why should that not be you? Let's talk about professional help. Now, when it comes to planning financially, there's one thing across the board I see that people neglect doing, and they end up regretting it later and down the line. You need to seek expert advice early on. I've talked to too many individuals who tried to handle everything themselves, only to find that they were missing out on valuable opportunities, particularly in tax planning, investment choices, or government pension perks. Here are some key areas to ask an expert about. First, tax relief. Learn to make the most of your pension tax relief and particularly higher rate tax benefits. Then we talk about investment portfolio optimization. Great investment decisions, really. Now, professional advisors can help ensure that your portfolio is built on assets which are aligned perfectly with your goals. Then, of course, we need to talk a bit about later life planning. We're all getting older. Financial advisors can and will typically guide clients through specific milestones like long-term care, pension drawdown, or creating multiple income streams. So sometimes it can feel like you have everything under control and that you don't really need that extra help. But from my experience, it's always best to get a professional second opinion from an expert. Only yesterday, a friend of mine rang and asked about buying a house for his son, and specifically the tax implications. Now, whilst he had most of it right and he had a great plan, I brought up a couple of really important points that he never would have thought of. So he's gone away a little bit wiser and he'll be a little bit wealthier as a result. And there's one overarching tip that goes for everything we've covered today, and it's that it's never too late to get started. Whether you're in your 40s, your 50s or your 60s, you can start making small changes today to see bigger and far more impactful results later down the road. The only way you won't be able to see those results is by not taking any action at all. So do your future self a favour and take action now. Now, perhaps if you're getting a bit closer to 60 or maybe even already past that, there's a pretty decent chance that you've put some thought into retirement already and what you're going to do when you get there. Now, would it surprise you to learn that there are just 5 questions which, if you can answer yes to, could actually mean you're ready to retire right now. I've even made a whole video on this topic which you can watch by clicking here on screen. In it, you'll find out if you're truly ready to retire or if you should hold off and focus on a few other things first. I look forward to seeing you over there, and best of luck wherever you are in life in your retirement journey.